Good morning, everybody. Hope you've got a good Saturday planned and good weekend. Part of that weekend involves being in God's house tomorrow, and hope you worship somewhere. Love to have you join us at Poplar Grove, but if that's not convenient to you, just so you're somewhere where they're preaching the Word of God. In the meantime, let's go ahead and turn to back to the book of Proverbs, and we will be picking up there in the sixth chapter. Beginning in verse 20. Going to look at a couple verses here. And just the verses 20 through 23. My son, keep thy father's commandments and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thy heart and tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandments is a lamp, and the law is a light, and reproof of instruction are the way of life. And so again, Solomon is once again reminding his son to follow the instructions of his parents, specifically the instructions that are found in the Word of God. And as I thought about that, one of the things that reminds me of, and should be a caution, a challenge to all of us, is that we are being certain that we are instructing our children, but not just any instruction, but instruction that comes from the Word of God. Many parents are much more concerned about their children learning to. They're giving them instruction when it comes to schoolwork. They're concerned about them being able to play sports. And all those. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. But what if we put the same emphasis on the instruction from God as we do them learning all of these other things? Sports, gymnastics, cheerleading, all the things that are tying up the time and the training of our children. And again, all those things are, I'm not throwing any of them under the bus and not telling you that that anyone who puts their children in sports or any of these activities is a bad parent. Not at all. What I'm saying is it needs to be balanced here with good Bible, biblical, godly instruction. He tells them to bind them upon your heart. Again, if we as parents are not giving them that instruction, how can they do that? When you go out, it'll lead you. When you sleep, it'll keep you. When you're awake, it'll talk with you. If they don't have the instruction, then none of these things can happen. How can it be a lamp? How can it be a light if we're not taking that responsibility of teaching and training our young people in our churches, that we're making sure that our churches are places where people can be taught and be trained. Our churches, in many ways, have become, in many cases, social clubs. We're more interested in going to eat and social events, those kind of things, and training up people in the Word of the Lord. Again, we say it almost as a joke, but I think all of us know it's true. If you say we're having a covered dish dinner on such and such date, you'll set out 100 chairs. If you say we're having a Bible study, you'll set out 10 chairs. We need to be taking seriously and putting the same effort, more effort, into knowing and learning godly truths and godly instruction, so that then we can pass that on. Excuse me. it is allergy season for me. But that we can then be passing that on to our children and grandchildren. I think it's fairly safe to say this morning that the reason that many are not passing on godly instruction is because they don't have it themselves. And so this passage to me is a real challenge. As a pastor leading a church, but as a father, as a grandfather, as a husband, that I have a responsibility to, first of all, to follow this instruction myself, to take the Word of God, take the instruction of God, and allow it to be a lamp and a light to allow it to guide me and instruct me. I've got to be an example, but then I've got to be teaching that to not only my church but my family. And today, as you consider this passage, I hope it'll be a challenge to you as well. You'll think that through as well. Our responsibility to emphasize godly instruction in our own life and in the lives of those that we influence. Have a great day. We'll see you back here Monday morning.